people came from, faraway places, and it's really, really, really special to see everybody. So today we're going to do a few things. I'm going to kind of kick off and speak about my mom and our life together and some experiences that we had kind of towards the end of her days. And we also have a lot of other folks that are going to come up to speak. My uncle's going to come up, and Pat and Marshall, and then Judith, if she's in here, I heard would like to read a poem. And so it's like there's no way I'm going to be able to get through any of this stuff. But just to remind me of some of the things I want to talk about, I'm going to go through and do that. So, my first memories of my mom are really actually coming to Santa Cruz. I was born in Mountain View. We lived in Santa Cruz Mountains for a while, back over kind of in San Jose, and then back here. But when I think of my first memories, it was actually coming to Santa Cruz, and I have a distinct memory of running around on the beach, either naked or in a diaper or something. And it was landing here in Santa Cruz and seeing my mom smile and that laugh, because she smiled so much. And she, my earliest memories are that, of her smiling and of us being together and doing that. And my mom and I spent a lot of time together, growing up. She raised me early on, and it was like we were buddies, and even as our relationship evolved, as I became, older and more as an adult, it was less of like a mother and son relationship, and almost, we were like brother and sister, or like friends. I had a very strong personality as a kid, and would battle and try and fight for everything I wanted, and I would win a lot, but my mom was always there. She always provided, an amazing sense and source of love. And I think when thinking about some of the things I wanted to talk about with my mom, I think it's really important for, me to acknowledge some of the gifts and some of the things that she gave me that I actually didn't even realize until she passed, that they were some of the strong ones. And I think the strong sense of love, and just knowing that having somebody there that thinks the world of you, and growing up, quite honestly, I think I took it for granted in many ways. I just had this, you have your sense of self, or your confidence, or your power as an individual, and because it's constant and it's always there. And then when my mom passed, it's like, not that it wasn't there, but I realized how much of that foundation she really gave me. So, some amazing gifts that she gave there. One of the other things that, in thinking about my mom, that I think is unique to her and that was special, is my mom had this ability to bend her perception of reality, right? And kind of ignore things that she didn't really want to deal with, and just focus on the things that she thought were good. And it was, I'm not articulating that the right way, but it's like this, even in her passing, sorry, I'm going to jump around a lot. I'll try and keep it concise, but even in her passing, she had a terminal condition, for a long time. Doctors said she was supposed to pass, 12, 13 years ago. And it was like not going to be, years. It was like going to be weeks or months. It was like, get your time in now. And this was, 12, 13 years ago. And her ability, it's like the survival mechanism that she had, was to like not agree with that, and then focus and find things that made her happy and that made her get excited about what she was doing. So things like, money, away. Responsibilities on something that she doesn't believe in or want to invest energy in, not going to deal with it. Something that makes her smile, or something that makes her laugh and be happy, she'll focus on that. And as a family around her, you would see a lot of frustration of, trying to help my mom be organized and coordinated and do these things, and you would see kind of these explosions go off in the maybe more organized sides of the family, where my mom was just didn't matter, benign. Oh, I'm going to focus on what I want to focus on. And I truly believe that's why she lived past her expiration. And that ability is something that I think we can all take a lesson from, as we all get so spun up and caught up in our daily lives, and we got to stress out about this list of stuff that doesn't really matter at the end of the day, and then at the end of the day, you spend a ton of energy on things that you don't care about, to where my mom just did not give a shit, pardon my language, sorry kids, and said, no, I'm going to focus on what makes me smile and laugh and makes me happy. And that's an amazing gift, an amazing talent. I really saw that too with Nicholas, towards the end. I got to see true love, with my mom and Nicholas, and that was amazing. And one of the things there is, if you know Nicholas, he has this spontaneous burst of a positive energy, and he is like a fountain of it, you know? And knowing my mom, I know she gravitated towards that. And they were really amazing to watch towards the end in terms of how they kind of kept each other balanced, but also flowing, you know, in the right direction. So, okay, those are the 2 points. Just, you know, the love and how important that is, and then also this ability to just ignore the stuff that doesn't matter and focus on what does. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of people talk about my mom in a lot of ways, different perspectives. Those are the 2 things that I wanted to get through. There is, and I should get down and let other people talk. At the end, I'm gonna try and play a song that my mom and I wrote together. Toughest thing in the world is when you're in the hospital and you have to explain to your mom that there's nothing more they can do for her, right? And so that was one of the, you know, probably the most difficult experience I've ever had to do, is to take what the doctors were saying and then articulate that into like, what this means is, you know, there's nothing more they can do and we gotta come home. Basically come home and find a place to die. Which sounds really morbid, but you know, you're trying to think about the right way to say these different things, and that's really what it is. Anyway, in that conversation, my mom did her thing where she was like, I think I'm gonna be all right, right? It was, excuse me, fighting back the, no, mom, you're gonna die, not like that, but like, that's awesome, okay, you know, let's think like that. And let's be positive and let's think about this. But then also knowing, you know, we've got every single specialist in the world from Stanford and kind of the reality of what things are at. Where I'm going with this is we had to make a decision on what to do at that point. And you know, I called my wife and told her, you know, said, God, you know, I had to have this conversation and before I could even finish, you know, Miriam, the amazing person that she is, just said, she's coming home with us, you know. So that, to me, I mean, one, you think that's the normal thing with most families, and it's not. You know, we had doctors coming and saying, are you sure you want to do this? This is going to be allowed in your household, and how is this going to impact Miles and all of these other things? And Miriam was like, doesn't matter. She's coming home with us. So we got to bring her home for 2 weeks, and Miriam set up the place like better than a hospital, you know? Pictures everywhere, a lot of the stuff you see back there. All of the, you know, if you know my mom, everything she ever wrote, she did with intent. You know, everything was like a poem. And so we had that all set up in pictures of Miles and all of us, and we got to experience that. And, you know, one, thank you, honey. Like, the best gift in the world was getting to spend those 2 weeks with her and get to really spend that time. And my wife hates compliments in that arena, but it really is a spectacular thing, and I'm lucky, very lucky to have you to do that. And if anybody else is gonna, you know, ever questioning whether you think it's right to bring a family member home to do a pass, my recommendation is definitely do it, you know. Okay, I think that's it. Stu's gonna come up and speak next, and some other ones. There's something I wanna say about Stu as well. Stu is the only one that's known Susie her entire life, from beginning to end. And as her big brother, has been an amazing protective big brother, you know, in the front and back of the show. He has always taken care of her and kind of an unsung hero, you know, and sometimes does not see that on the front, or Stu sees that, I see that, everyone sees that, but not everyone sees that. So Stu, thank you for taking care of your sister, and come up and tell us about her.
And she particularly wanted to pay tribute to her friend Susan Russell today. Thank you.
Me and some old friends got to go to Burning Man, and I have a very good friend who's here. All of them are here, actually. And we talked about the power of crystals and giving yourself permission to love yourself and healing and all of that. So I've been big on crystals for the last 4 or 5 months. My mom knows this. And in that 2-week period, you know, I got my mom this crystal for, you know, for Christmas time, right? And you can probably make it there, but I got to sit with her, and the metaphor that I have is that, you know, she sat and squeezed us and held it and got to pass on all her powers to the crystal, to me. And get emotional. So this one's powerful. Anyway, I gotta get through the emotional stuff before I try and sing the song. It's just gonna be a disaster. So that's one thing, but I wanted to talk about that because, you know, I got a wonderful crystal gift since I've been here, and another plug I'm going to do is if you haven't got into the crystal thing, it's pretty cool. So there's that. Another thing I wanted to say is, let me get set up on this, is, hold on, I need a chair because I can't stand. You know that, all the people that, I need some help, Dave. All the people that, I sent out a Facebook post when my mom was going in and saying, hey, my mom's fighting for her life and, you know, collective energy works. I really, 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 truly believe that. So I wanted to say, all the people that commented on that, I read that to my mom and showed that to my mom, and it brought happy tears to her eyes. So thank you all for that. Thank you all for coming too. And on that happy energy and collective energy thing, I have my cousin Trina who's fighting for some stuff right now. And so think about that sense of good energy. I'm gonna try to pull myself together for this song real quick, and what I said before about being loud and positive, and we're gonna need it here. So like, let's get into it. And there's some lyrics in there too. So there's the song is something that. Right. Yeah. Thanks. So the song is something, you know, my mom got there for the first night, and it's gonna be a little rough, but we're gonna do it. So my mom got there in the room, and she immediately started writing. And you know, she wrote out kind of we were talking about a lot of different things, and it was really positive. I mean, the first night we got there, you know, we watched something on Netflix, and we were just laughing, and it was nice, you know, it was just getting to be with son and mom. But so she wrote out this poem, and it was about kind of, you know, what she's thinking about, you know, for when she passes, and had to do with some daisies, and, you know, New Brighton Beach, and being by the ocean. We also had her set up in a room in our house that looked out to our garden. And our garden's small, but we have, you know, lots during the spring. It's a seasonal garden, lots of flowers, lots of birds, hummingbirds specifically, also butterflies. So we sat down and we're like, hey, we've never really like written a song together, and started jamming around. It's pretty rocky, but it was a lot of fun. We got to actually write a song together, and so we kind of wrote out a first, you know, a few verses and then a chorus. Safe and Free is the name of the song. You're gonna hear that. It'll wrap around. Feel absolutely free to chime in and sing if you're feeling it, because, like I said, I might need some help here. But the song's really about kind of reincarnation, you know, and since my mom's passed, we've had, you know, these hummingbirds that come and visit us, and monarch butterfly that just like sits around, and Nicholas was there, and, you know, out of nowhere, just one monarch butterfly, and it's the same one that keeps coming back and hanging out. We're a big believer of reincarnation in our household. Okay, so this song's called Safe and Free, and here we go. Forgot the words. I'll get them. You can make me blanket of daisies. Oh. You can take me to the garden to have some fun, and I'll fly with the hummingbirds and wildflowers and the bees. Safe and free, remember me, swimming in the ocean. Safe and free, safe and free. Okay, round one.
Oh, really?
I can really play a lot better than that. I will climb in the trees to my cocoon, where I will sleep and spread my wings. I'm a safe and free, safe and free. Remember me, I'm that butterfly. I'm safe and free. Now I'm safe and free. Okay, clap now. Thank you for clapping. Again, I want to thank everybody. I think that concludes everything we're going to do up here. There's plenty of food. Grab it. Going to hang out for a bit. I think we actually have to be out of here. Ooh, I see a hand.
Can I get up and say something?
Absolutely. Come on up. Please do.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaac Collins, Psycho by Lyrical Eye. I know Susan very, very well. I'm an artist in the community. I've been doing hip hop and spoken word for over 14 years. And Susan has been a part of my career for 14 years. And I met Susan by Nicholas. And Susan encouraged me to always keep following my dream. Every show I've done, every performance I've done in this town, she was always motivating me to keep pushing. So I wrote a poem. I wrote a poem about life, and it's not organized yet, but Susan always told me to go from the heart. So I kind of call it a freestyle poem, but I want to do it because she was very important for me and very important for a lot of artists. For me to be here is emotional, but I'm very happy to come here and give her respect, because if it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be artists like me that have been consistent in my community and doing something positive. So to Susan, this is for you. I remember you like it was yesterday. I remember the inspiration that you gave me when I was 28 years old, getting in trouble for selling marijuana edibles, and I remember when you told me to follow your passion and put yourself in it more. You encouraged me. You gave me wisdom to see a light that I couldn't see anymore. When I felt depressed, you always were there to tell me, keep succeeding at your dream. You got a talent with your art, keep living it. To you, Susan, I honor you and respect you. I love you like 10,000 million sacred flowers that sit in every single ocean, every single river, and every single concrete when the people were out there struggling. See, you remember those people. We were a part of those people. You gave all your love to the ones that were less fortunate. You always encouraged kids like me to have talent, to keep finding spiritual balance. I tell you, I love you, Susan. I tell you this from the bottom of my heart. When I found you pass, it was like a shocking in my soul. I know I had to come pay my respects to you, because as an artist, we must pay our respects to you. As an artist, we must pay our respects to you. You've done so much for Santa Cruz and the community. I don't know what else I can say, but I love you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart to encourage me to always follow my dreams. Susan, you're an angel in the heavens. God has blessed you to bless all of us. And with that, I say I love you, Susan, and I will never stop being Lyrical Eye. I will never stop performing. Because I remember when you encouraged me to get on stage. Open up your eyes. Realize the beauties inside you. Let me say it again. Open up your eyes. Realize the beauties inside of you. I'll hold on to those words every single day. And I'll remember Susan every time I get on stage, because her love in my heart will never die. It'll only multiply when we open up our lights and do something positive in her name. Thank you.
We got one more. That was amazing, Lyrical Eye. Thank you. Please write that down.